Oh yeah, 2 pre-rolls today. Thank you to our sponsor, Stitch Fix. Tired of the endless search for the perfect outfit? Stitch Fix is here to make it easy. Using their online platform and expert stylists, you'll have access to a custom wardrobe that fits your style and budget. Try Stitch Fix today at stitchfix.com/JRVP. You'll get 25% off when you keep everything in your fix. I did it. I'm wearing some of it. That's stitchfix.com/JRVP for 25% off today. Stitchfix.com/JRVP. Also want to thank Tushy. Taking a dump shouldn't cost you money and your relationship with costly toilet paper. Stop wiping, start washing. Go to hellotushy.com/JRVP. Use the promo code JRVP. You get 10% off your first order. That's hellotushy, TUSHY.com/JRVP for 10% off. Couple of pre-rolls. We also got the triathlon of diarrhea. We got revenge on a landlord. And we got Anthony wiping the floor with Seinfeld. All coming up on episode 215 of the Jeselnik and Rosenthal Vanity Project.
JRVP.
Junior Vice President.
Did you hear about the explosion?
Liking the energy today. We're taping later. You're coming off your big show, and I did not hear about the explosion. What is that from?
So this is from my weekend in Halifax. First of all, let me say I'm in a much better mood this week than I was last week.
Maybe that's it.
Do you know what's different? You know what was different between last week's episode and this week's episode?
What?
I just walked right in the fucking door when I got here. I just turned the knob, and it opened, and I walked in here.
Wait, did you leave it open for him, Aaron?
No, there was a real lapse of security, apparently.
Oh, because I was going to say I had to enter the security code to get in, and that immediately made me fear for your mood because I saw your car was already in the parking lot. Because I never did send you the security code.
That's one of the things that made me so mad is that sometimes it works. Sometimes you turn the knob and it opens.
Just means the door's not
If
closed.
it was always locked, I wouldn't have gotten as mad. But the fact that sometimes you're just like, hey, everybody, and sometimes they're like, no, we don't trust you, is what set me off. So much better mood today. I am tired. Listen, I'm gonna go on a little rant here about Halifax. And it's all gonna be high praise of Halifax and the Maritimes, which was the area that I was in for the most part. Halifax, you are amazing. Canada has been hiding Halifax from us for quite some time. It is beautiful. It's like beachside. The air is the cleanest air I have ever been around. Just hilly enough to keep the fatties out. You know what I'm saying? Like, Aaron, if you were there, you'd be the biggest guy in Halifax. It's just hilly enough. You're not winded walking around, but you're like, okay, this is why everyone's in pretty good shape.
Yep.
The people are...
It's like Japan. Where are the fatties? They're
exactly.
Not there.
They're underneath the fucking bullet train somewhere because they've been shamed. No bullet trains in Halifax. The people are incredible. They treated me so well. If you had told me that I was kind of like a Manchurian candidate situation where they were trying to bring me in to brainwash me to leave there and talk up Halifax, I would believe them, and they did a great job because everyone was great. Everyone was so polite, knew who I was. Like, I walked in and I was like, oh, like, is this under my alias or my real name? And I walk under and I go like, I'm not sure if it's under, is it under Jeselnik? And the guy just smiles and he goes, it's under the other one. And then like hands me my key. And like, I go up to the room after the show. The show's incredible. And I'm glad that I worked as hard as I did to prepare for that show. Like, showed up at sound check, was like, how's everything gonna sound? Where is everything? Okay, I got it. I got the spacing. I figured it all. I got the timing down.
Did you do extra prep like the day before or no?
I did Largo. I did like an hour at Largo to run through it like the day before, which I normally wouldn't do. I had Kumail Nanjiani back doing stand-up again on the show. He was great. Joe Mandy was great. It was really fun to be back at Largo. And then just went and was thinking about the show a lot. Visualizing. I'm a big visualizer when it comes to, like, before I did a roast, I just visualized walking to that podium. So thought about, the size of the stage. I got in like late the night before and could see Seinfeld through my like hotel window, like far away, but I kind of watched that just to see like, okay, that's what that looks like. And then had a great show. Loved it. I almost wish I had been more playful because everyone was so polite and so cool. I was like, I'm going to give you the fucking movie, and went out and just did it. But I truly loved Halifax. And one of the things I loved the most about them, not just how polite they were. Speaking to how polite they were, after the show, I get in the car, I go back to my hotel, and I'm getting picked up in like 3 hours to go back to the hotel. Liz and I go in, we sit at the hotel bar. I have a non-alcoholic beer, a delicious non-alcoholic beer. I forget what it was called, but it was amazing. Liz has a drink, and we just talk for like an hour. And then we get up to leave, and as we get up to leave, everyone in the bar, like almost everyone, stands up and says, "Hey, great job tonight." As we're leaving, like,
wow,
obviously didn't bother us, didn't make a scene about not bothering us. When we left, we're like, "Great job tonight, we enjoyed it." And I was like, "This is so cool." Everyone's so cool. We walked around the night before, so many more bars per capita, I think, than anywhere else in Canada, or maybe in Nova Scotia. Someone told me, and so people are pouring out of bars in and out all night long, and everyone's polite. No one's screaming. There's no fights. Everyone's just chill and cool. I think it was the air. It's that sea air in Nova Scotia. I loved it. But my favorite thing.
It's also like the one nice, weather month. You probably got there, so everyone's happy.
It rained
Everyone's
for Seinfeld.
happy.
It rained for Burr. God was on my side, as he should be, because he is afraid of me. We get to this place. We get to Halifax. Halifax Airport's a dream. Get to the hotel. Liz and I have not talked to anyone in the city. Our driver greets us, says hello. We get into the hotel. I'm waiting in line to check in. Liz is like, "I'll be right back. I'm going to use the bathroom." Comes back 2 minutes later and says, "Did you hear about the explosion?" And I'm like, "What explosion?" She's like, "In 1917, right at the end of World War II, the two ships in the Halifax harbor collided. One was filled with gunpowder. And like this insane explosion, like Hiroshima type explosion, 1917. And I'm like, who are you talking to? You've been gone for 2 minutes. How did?" She's like, "I was looking at a picture of something," and someone's like, "Oh, did you hear about the explosion?" Everywhere we went, someone would be like, "Did you hear about the explosion?" And they're delighted to tell you about it. And everything about the explosion is fascinating. I got home and I bought an audiobook called like The Great Halifax Explosion of 1917 or something, and popped it in, wanting to learn more facts. I wish I had known. I would have taken a tour. It was devastating. And this book fucking sucks. John U. Bacon, I'm on chapter 9. We're still not to the explosion yet. I don't care that much about World War II or Canada's place in World War I. Just get me to the explosion, John U. Bacon. Move it along. That's why I want info. I want the facts. But everyone wanted to talk about it. And in Halifax, they would have been within their rights, Gregg, to say, "Hey, we don't talk about the explosion.
No.
We don't like it. It's our 9/11. No. They love it. They're like, "You won't fucking believe what happened to us. What we did. We goofed big time. Blew up the whole fucking thing." It was awesome. We were just walking around getting facts everywhere we went. I love Halifax. I love it.
I'm now looking at some pictures from the explosion and newspaper covers. I mean, it's probably easier to talk about now. There's some distance to it. I don't think anyone, there.
I think they loved it.
Anyone.
I think they loved it day one. They were like, "Isn't this hilarious?" Just two ships bumped into each other. It's fun. Listen, next week I'm going to come back with way more facts. I'm going to finish that book.
I mean, is it fun? The headline, which I like from the Halifax Herald, is just "Halifax wrecked."
Mm-hmm. It's just
that
gone.
doesn't sound fun.
Liz, the second fact Liz came back with was most of the injuries, a lot of people killed, obviously. Most of the injuries were to faces and eyes because everyone wanted to look at the explosion. They heard it and were like, "What the fuck?" And then boom, all the debris right up in your face. In Halifax, you won me over.
More than 1,000 people died. It's pretty crazy. In 1917 years, that's like 10,000 people.
Halifax killed it. I do wish I'd been in New York and gone. It's a much easier flight. Air Canada, you got to do better. Air Canada, you're embarrassing your country, your namesake. You got to do better. I'm getting, in 24 hours, less than 24 hours, I'm getting on a plane to go to Calgary for shows this weekend, all sold out. Calgary, Enoch, Winnipeg, sold out, as they should be, because Canadians love me. And Air Canada better be stepping it up this time. I don't need a repeat of what happened Sunday. And no, I do not wish to elaborate.
It's a shame. The Air Canada Centre, that's where the Maple Leafs play. That's why they haven't won anything in a long time.
Is your family back?
They are back, yeah.
When they get back?
Less than a week ago, almost a week ago. It's it's been an adjustment. You know, life is more challenging with the family.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, life's harder. It did make me think about it. Like, it's one thing when you have, family and children, and they give you a lot. You know, they give you fulfillment that you just wouldn't have, like feeling, emotion, all this stuff that adds to your life. But then sometimes you think about your friends that have like the same job as you, let's say, but they don't have a family. And I always think like, well, it's harder. My job's harder because I have a family. But they don't want to hear that. They're like, oh, there's, it's like, oh, I have a dog. That's worth 2.5 kids. No.
Careful.
Kids are like 3 times as much as dogs.
Nope.
They multiply.
Nope.
And like, but it's okay. It's okay to remember. It's okay to like recognize that there's certain things you miss out on. There's certain things you get. But in terms of like accomplishing your job, it's way easier if you don't have your family with you. It was much more relaxing. And this should be obvious, but like, it was probably the biggest vacation I've had in a long time. Like, it was much more of a vacation to be working while my family wasn't here than the reverse.
Aaron, can you back Gregg up on that? Is it easier to not have kids than to have kids?
Yes, I also want to say I have a dog and a child. So I'm the true hero here.
I would argue that, yes, like as a dog owner, I would argue that, yes, having a dog is more difficult than not having a dog, but the rewards you get from dog ownership cancel out the negative aspects. Like, yes, I do need to come home and do things.
I'm saying that too. Yes.
That when people be like, well, I have kids, so I deserve, get the fuck out of here. You did that to yourself. I'm
glad I did it, obviously. It adds way more than you don't, but it's always stupid when people that don't have kids are like push back on that notion. Just embrace it. If I didn't have kids, I'd be like, yeah, that was a great move by me. It's way easier now and way more, like just own that instead of saying, oh no, like, oh, we have our own things that are, it's like, no, you have much more free time.
Here's how I see it. When people with kids complain about how much harder it is having kids.
I don't do that.
When I hear them say anything critical about like, oh, it's actually more difficult, I just see someone standing there without a jacket on in the cold. And I'm standing right next to you, I got my jacket on. And the only difference between us is you took your jacket off. You had a jacket. You were warm once too. And you took it off and now you're bitching about how cold it is. Leave me alone. Let me enjoy my jacket.
I mean, don't get me wrong. They've been back and it's been great to have them back once they got over their like brutal jet lag, which was, killing my sleep for 3 or 4 days.
Now, when they come back, like jet lag from Japan is I think the worst of the worst. Are they all little monsters, all 3 of them? Or is there one, like, or does some take it better than others? Or you just like, let me just bar myself in this closet until
we've learned not to. We just like let them stay up till 2 a.m. reading. Like, don't even fight it too much. But yeah, I don't want to rank it. Ellis handles it all pretty well, like everything.
Okay, so
maybe Emeka and Walker are tied for the first. I don't know. Sure. You're getting me in trouble, but Emeka doesn't listen anymore, and I'm happy about that.
It's great.
Although I don't like it when people like.
Good for you. Good for Emeka.
I saw this guy at work. He's like, "Oh yeah, how's the Jeselnik pod going?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, it's great. I'm still. It's been 4 or 5 years now, or whatever it is. It's been great." He's like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "I used to love listening to that, but I had to stop it at some point." It's like, you didn't have to tell me that. Why do people always feel like they have to tell you that?
Love to. I used to love it. I used to love it. Like, don't tell me that. I don't need. Just no compliment is fine.
I get it. He has kids now, or whatever the fuck it is. Anyways.
Just here's what you say next time someone said that to you. Go, I don't give a fuck what you listen to, and then walk away. It's fun. And now it's time for Did We Get Any Notes? Did we get any notes? Notes. Did we get any notes? Notes. Did we get any notes? We got a couple. One I saw in the emails. We got this note a lot. Gregg, it is pronounced Knopf. The publishing house, I assume they're talking about. And Killian Murphy, which I didn't know. I've always seen it. I've just avoided saying his name.
I literally asked you that before the show or something, when we saw it.
And it's a coin flip. And Nadir is my nadir Listen, no one knows what nadir means. Nadir either means something really good, or something either really good or really bad.
It's the very bottom. It's the bottom of the journey.
But it could be the top.
No, it couldn't.
It's all a matter of perspective. That when I think to say the word nadir, I'm like, am I saying the best or the worst? Now I know. And I like when listeners and viewers, youtube.com, check it out. When they send in corrections, I think it's fun. Whenever I say in my act, whenever I say the word longevity, I think of the listener / viewer who hipped me to the fact that longevity is not a word, and I appreciate it.
I mean, just think of our old fraternity brother, my little brother in the fraternity.
Dante?
Nad. Now, is that the best or the worst? See,
This was jury's still out. Another note. This made me laugh really hard today. I was getting ready to leave, and I had to go see a chiropractor before this, so I left earlier today. And I'm getting ready, and I throw on this new hat. This is a hat that I got from the festival, and I was like, I'll wear it tonight. And I put it on.
It's a great outdoors hat, but yes,
it says the Great Outdoors.
Check it out on YouTube.
I think that you can buy the merch online. Check it out. And I say, how do I look? And Liz looks at me like she's about to start crying and says, would you please change your shirt? And I'm long-time viewers of the podcast will know I wear a gray T-shirt quite often. I have a ton of them. They're the shirts I work out in. I just throw them on when I'm not thinking about what I'm wearing. And she was like, please, on the verge of tears, please don't wear that again today. And so I'm wearing a white shirt. And she was very happy with that. So that was a good note. I like these notes. They help make the podcast better. They help make us better.
I have a note that just popped up because you mentioned shirts and whatnot, and I'm looking at this camera on the YouTube thing, and the camera, I wore this sort of medium shirt today, thinking it's a little small on me, it's a little tight.
Medium? Is that a term?
Never heard of that?
No.
Yeah, that's when
in between small and medium.
There you go. And when guys are kind of wearing shirts that are a little extra tight, because they're wanting to show it off. I've been going to the gym. I'm getting ripped. But it's only I want to show my tattoo arm, and Aaron's got it on the other arm. I can't get the tattoo in the shot. There's no point in having a tattoo if when you're wearing a short shirt, it can't come out.
Let's get more tattoos. And someone get Gregg a smarge. A size smarge, please. I reject.
It's just been annoying me. I've been looking at it in the monitor, and I'm trying to,
I reached out to a tattoo artist in New Orleans that I was like, hey, man, because I looked at a bunch of different tattoo artists. This guy's my favorite. And I reached out and I was like, hey, I'm going to be in New Orleans these 2 days on tour. I'm kicking off tour. I'd love to get a piece done. I have these two options I'm thinking of between. Can you do a black and gray? And he just wrote back immediately and was like, thanks, but I'm busy both those days. And I was like, okay. And I feel like it was in parentheses, I don't think your ideas are good.
No.
The ideas that you wanted, I think, are stupid.
No. It's in parentheses, I've never heard of you. And I just think you're a random person.
That's why DM is they can just go right to the DM and be like, oh, I see who it is. He's verified.
Oh, okay.
It comes up. But I was like, my assistant from now on is going to be doing these.
Maybe we just thought you were some random.
No, it's verified. It's a DM. It wasn't an email.
Okay.
Maybe he knows. Everybody knows. All right? Aaron, does everybody know?
Everybody knows.
Everybody knows. Okay? Any more notes? Any more notes about your arms?
No.
You decided to get tattooed on the right arm and not the left arm, and now you got to live with it.
Well, I'm going to keep getting. I want to. I'm planning to get another one. I've gotten one right around the start of the football season every year. The last, just 2 years, but And I want to get one that's sort of an homage or in honor of my wife Emeka, but we haven't thought of the design. But I'm going to put it on the right arm.
I can't wait.
So if anyone has any ideas, maybe you could send it in or something.
I think, okay, let's vote. Do you want me to draw Emeka and Gregg to get the drawing tattooed?
No. I mean, that was my kid's first answer. Was like, why don't you just have her face? I was like, no, we're not going to do that.
No.
Nobody wants that.
What was I saying before?
You were just trying to move it on to email corner, probably.
No, but I had something else I was going to get into and I forgot. It was going to be funny. I had a joke I was building towards, and then I'm not blaming Gregg. I lost it. I lost the thread, guys. I lost the thread.
Something about the tattoo on my arm, left arm, right arm.
Tattoo artist definitely knows who you are.
No.
This is
I don't know.
good
I don't know.
podcasting.
It's gone. It is great podcasting. People want to see the process. They want to peek behind the curtain, and it's not always going to be pretty. All right? The wizard's not always who you expect it's going to be. But I'm going to be handing out hearts and courage and slippers and instructions. And now it's time for email. Oh, that was. Did we get any notes?
It's a real nadir moment for the show.
It is a nadir. Thank you.
Notes. Did we get any notes? Did we get any notes?
If you really study the language like I do, you know that there was a time where you would call something the nadir, and it would be a correct response would be good or bad.
No. That's good. That's good timing though by Aaron. I can almost hear my mom's voice telling me that Aaron, yeah, he's funny.
Yeah, check out fucking Cillian Murphy over there. And now it's time for Email Corner.
Email corner. Emails are a thing. Email corner. Email. It's email corner.
Guys, emails are a thing. It's a fact. Before emails were a thing, it was a dark time. The nadir. Before emails. And then emails, reverse nadir. Here we are. You guys send them to us. We pick 3. We go through them. It's fun. You know what? Just let me give you an announcement. If you want to do some more, and I know you do. I know you freaks love this shit. JRVP Junior Vice President at gmail.com. We're going to do a mailbag coming up. I'm going to be going on the road. We're going to need to fill some eps. So if you want to do just a normal question for the regular podcast, which we'll be taping in the coming weeks, just send us an email like you normally do. If you want it for the mailbag, we're going to be saving them up. If you got a crazy make 'em up that you want to throw our way, put mailbag in the subject, and I'll have Miss Kim put those aside. Gregg, we got 3 emails. Read them in the order that they turn you on from most to least.
Then we got to start with Rob. Hey, fuckers. Any chance you can post the videos on YouTube when the audio drops? I'm not going to listen to this shit twice, and I'd rather look at all these dumb faces in crazy backgrounds instead of just hearing about them. Jeselnik, get with Billy and straighten this out. I'll be seeing you September 15th. Stop tripping over your dicks. Lovingly, Rob.
This gets me so... When people show their ignorance, when people show their whole ass, when they look like Prince at the MTV Video Music Awards to me, when they write in and say things like this. Do you know, Aaron, what I'm about to say right now? I say it all the time. Aaron, say it with me. The video is never late. The audio is early.
Yeah.
One more time. The audio is always early. The video is never late. Okay, guys? We need to work on that. Aaron, when I called you last night to run through that, you said you had it down. And you said you were going to practice.
Yeah. I have that kid and that dog I talked about.
You don't understand what other podcasts do and how we've streamlined the process for the ultimate podcast experience. Okay. Aaron, how much editing do we do on this podcast?
A whole 0.
0 seconds of editing. There was one time I was like, can you go back and bleep that? And Aaron went, yeah, I guess I cannot see my kid. So we don't edit anything. We finish talking. They play that song that everyone loves the most at the end. Aaron hits one button. He types in what we're going to call it. And he hits a button, and then boom, audio for everyone. It's in there. It's out there in the matrix. And then he sends the video stuff to whoever does that. And the next day it comes out so quickly, so fast you can't believe it. So again, I will hold the audio for 12 hours, and they can both come out at the same time. Or I can give you guys a fucking present. Aaron, do you think about days where you have to hold the episode? We tape on a Monday, and you have to hold it for a day.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
It's like I've got like a firecracker about to go off in my hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like you got a firecracker in your hand and you got to hold it there for 24 hours. Don't do that to Aaron.
No.
It's like you just finished a 2-liter bottle of Fanta. Mm-hmm. You're on the highway. You have to piss so bad. You just have to hold it in. Mm-hmm. and you got 67 miles to the next stop.
When Gregg walks out of here, the first person he sees, he goes, "What do you think of the episode so far?" and when we tape it on Monday, we got to hold that episode. He feels like an idiot.
Yeah.
He feels dumber than the guy who's holding a firecracker in his hand.
I also think that Rob could consider, these episodes aren't time sensitive. Just wait a fucking day. It's just as funny on Wednesday as Tuesday. Just pretend the audio show doesn't even exist. If that's how you want to play it, that every Wednesday you get to look forward to the YouTube show. There's nothing that's going to be dated. Like there isn't any breaking news that is going to change the tone of the show. It's the same.
This is what you do. Audio comes out Tuesday evening. You listen to it right away. Right away. Then the next day when the YouTube video hits, you watch it with your family, and you look smart because you know the answers in advance. You look like you're a psychic person because you know, oh, I bet they're going to talk about this now. I bet he's going to say emails are a thing. And then they look at you like you're a living god.
Be like Anthony and I's roommate from college who had a few different tapes of Jeopardy episodes and would just put them on in his room in a VCR because we're old and that's what you did back then. And he would know all the answers to Jeopardy and he would just do that like a psychopath and everyone would think how smart he was until we found out.
I mean, I knew immediately what was going on. And I think he was like playing for money at some point and then it all fell apart because people got real mad. But yeah, that was fun. You can do that too. Get on that train.
Speaking of, he mentioned Billy. I never asked. Did you run into Seinfeld or Billy? Did you feel any competitive spirit between the three? Were you pleased that they had shitty weather and you did not?
I saw Jer from afar. Like when I got in, I'm in the top floor of this hotel. They put me in a nice place. I have a great view of the fairgrounds or wherever it was. I could see him. Couldn't hear any laughs. Right. And then the next day, I'm talking to my opener. And she's like, "Oh yeah, I heard Jerry Seinfeld. They didn't get any laughs last night because it had been like cold and rainy." And I was like, "Really?" And she started laughing. She's like, "No, asshole. Like, of course, he did great." But I don't know anything about Billy. I don't know anything about Billy because Billy went on at like 6 p.m. the night that I was leaving. I'm sure it was great. But as I left the stage, they were chanting, "Eat shit, Jer." Eat shit, Jer. I don't think he's ever welcome back, but I know he left immediately to go to some other gig on his private jet.
Wow.
But I left everything out in the field. I got my chin held high. If you came to me and said, "Anthony, I liked Jerry Seinfeld better," I would be like, okay, but I know I did my best. And there were enough people in the show who did not know who I was that made that show real fun for me. Like enough people being like, "Yeah, we get it." Enough people who were like, "Why? Oh my God." He's like, someone was like, "He really hates kids." I saw like an online comment, like, "He really hates kids," and like, LOL, yeah, he did. And I'm like, "Oh, you didn't know that?" It was a treat for everyone.
Our next question is from Andrew. He says, "Hey, Gregg and Anthony, we're renting a home. Our property owner died in an avalanche. His son inherited the home, and ever since then, our life has been a nightmare. For the last 4 months, water has been pouring through the ceiling anytime it rains. There's literally thousands of bees directly outside our door, and now our AC has been out for a week. The kid who inherited this home has made it incredibly difficult for us and refuses to fix anything. We are on our way out, but I wanted to know if you guys had any ideas for petty revenge, aside from the obvious upper decker. Thanks, guys, Andrew."
Do you guys have any? I have the correct answer. When I read this last night, I was like, "Oh, I got it." But Greg, do you have any kind of?
I hope I don't steal it.
Do you want to take a stab?
Okay, I think this is the correct answer. When you're leaving, you don't say anything. You clean the house. You thank him for everything. You apologize. You send condolences about his dad, and then you just leave Colorado Avalanche gear all over the house, and that's it.
Okay, because for a second I was like, oh, because he died in an avalanche. I get it. Make him clean that up. Make him think about his dad.
It's like Joe fucking Sakic, Patrick Roy in every room. And
Sakic would hurt the most, I feel like.
You're just like, oh, again!
Yeah.
Dad.
Okay, I like where your head's at. I like that it was just mean and easily fixed. Like easily taken down. Aaron, do you want to take a shot at what the best revenge would be?
I'm not a prank guy or a...
I'm not.
You also don't get these questions ahead of time, that's putting you in a tough spot.
You should have.
Okay, we'll put you on the email. We'll put you on the email.
But
it depends if there's a security deposit or not, I think.
Okay, that's gone. It's over.
Yeah, this guy, the way the son sounds I don't think you're getting that deposit.
Listen to me. Listen to me, you two fucks in the studio. Listen to me, you millions of fucks out there listening right now or watching on YouTube. Listen to me. I don't do pranks. I'm not in the prank business. I'm in the ruining lives business. You want to ruin this guy's life? Here's what you do. All right, this is the move. The day you move out, you don't make a peep. You clean everything. You go above and beyond. You're not expecting your security deposit. You even tell him that. You say, listen, I've lived here. I've enjoyed myself. We're going to do our best out of respect for your father and for you. We don't want the security deposit, but don't worry about us. We're going to take care of everything. This is going to be spotless. We're going to leave it better than we found it. And then the night before, you check out and you leave. You go in the backyard and you dig yourself a hole. You dig as deep as you can get. You get maybe like 3 feet in, and then you throw some coins in that hole. You get some old coins, some vintage coins, you throw them in that hole. Maybe you put a little dirt over them, and then on the counter when you leave a couple of vintage coins with dirt on them, and you say, hey, I didn't feel right leaving without telling you this, but your dad would talk about the treasure in the backyard. We found a little bit of it, and we don't feel right keeping it. We're going to leave it here. Hope you have better luck than we did. And then you leave. And you never answer his phone call. You don't give any details of this. You let this guy spend the rest of his life digging up that backyard looking for old person treasure. He will never sleep again.
Wait, but you put some vintage coins.
Throw some coins in. Yeah, it's going to cost you a little money. It's costing you a little bit of money, but it's worth it.
Seems expensive.
You want to sell it.
Well, but then he thinks those couple coins, that's all there is, maybe.
No, he's going to be like, this is it. There's got to be more.
I find it intriguing, but I think you've dismissed my avalanche idea too early.
It's too easy to clean up. It's too easy. If you pulled an Elon Musk and had bought the property across the street and put up an avalanche
maybe you put the avalanche in the hole in the backyard.
You
put it's everywhere. You don't even know. All over, the next person is living there, and they're like, "Hey, we just we're cleaning out the crawl space, and I wish I knew another Avalanche player to mention, but there's an old Patrick Roy jersey back here."
Listen, every good podcast is about what, Aaron? Compromise. So I'm going to compromise with Gregg here on his avalanche idea. So let's say I dig the hole, put a couple coins in, I leave my note with the coin saying, good luck finding the treasure. And then when he goes back there to look in the hole and he gets in the hole, you bury him in the hole. You put all the other dirt in, and then you hammer it down with the thing, and then everyone's happy. How about that?
That's pretty good.
And then at the end, right before you leave, you go, say hi to your dad for me.
Damn.
You shitty landlord.
I do like that Andrew, takes no prisoners, gives no fucks, was not remotely understanding of the son being devastated by his dad fucking dying in an avalanche. Because that would be a tough way to lose your dad. If you were going to ask me, would someone whose dad just died in an avalanche be a good or a bad landlord? I'd guess bad. It's not that shocking.
I think if I was in your situation, Andrew, the words "I wish you had died in that avalanche instead of your dad" would be how I ended every conversation with them. It should have been you who died in that avalanche, not your dad. Your dad's the better landlord. I preferred him.
All right, our last question is from Bobby. Do you guys think it's time to switch up your bulletproof wallets homage, referring to our podcast cover? You guys can check it out, and you can Google bulletproof wallets if you don't know what we're talking about. Change it to something more new and fresh. It has been a minute. I look much younger in that picture. What do you think you'll change it to, and will Aaron be involved? Bobby.
Now, I refuse to ever change this. I want to take it to the grave. That photo will outlive the podcast, for sure. Even though we did, a little news for everyone, we did just re-up with All Things Comedy. We opted in to our mutual option. So you got another year of us at least. Even if I get so fucking sick of it. Even if I get locked out one day and I want to kill everyone. I want to kill everyone who's ever been in Burbank. And we're still going to do them. We're still going to do 52 episodes. Because I'm locked in, contractually. Anyway, I want that to be it forever. Greg didn't like the chest hair he had to show, but now he's living with it.
Now I kind of like it because it's a younger me. It shows the confidence in the chest hair. We got to use the robe as a fan fiction contest prize. To that great young woman who won it. It kind of paid off, the homoerotic energy that's on the cover itself with the fan fiction contest. Like, it all came together.
Aaron told me he's jerked off to that cover more than any other podcast cover of any All Things Comedy podcast, except for maybe Monday Morning Podcast. Right, Aaron?
I mean, it's not a lie.
What about Slarborough Country?
We're waiting, Aaron.
No, they're like a 2A. Yeah, it's Bill Burr.
For the people listening home, Aaron did have that question in advance. We told him we would ask it, and he still fumbled the bag.
Anyway, Aaron will not be involved if for some reason we had to do it again.
Greg, if you got to start from scratch right now and do a cover, you're saying Aaron's out. What would the cover be if you had to?
I don't know.
Do it again?
Now I gotta think of other great duo.
You had the questions
covers
in advance. You could have done a Method Man and Red Man.
Okay,
done one of those.
How about like? It
doesn't have to be hip hop.
The AT Aliens cover. Yeah, it's true. It does not have to be hip hop. Maybe it's better if it's not.
Here's what I would do. Greg didn't give this any thought. He read it and then was like, "Anthony will take care of it."
Well, I read it and thought we're not changing it. Listen, so the answer is, no.
Cool. Okay, if we had to.
Okay.
If Billy comes in the room and he's like, "Guys, we picked up the option. You know what that means. That's right. I snuck in a clause in the contract. You got to change the cover. I want to use your old Bulletproof Wallets cover for my new podcast," which again, Billy has to start a podcast with anyone who asks him to. He has to do it. So if that happened, I would say you want to make it fresh. We made that podcast cover when? In like 2018?
17, 18. Comedy Central got us a nice photo shoot.
Yeah, we don't have to tell the story, but I just wanted the year. We don't need the story, Greg. We just need the date.
I'm just saying we're still, benefiting from Comedy Central. So
we want to keep it fresh. We want to freshen up. Aaron, what year is it?
It's 2023.
2023. All right, it's the future. So I would think me and Greg in kind of a. Do you remember the opening credits for 2.5 Men, Aaron?
I remember the song.
Yeah.
Nobody does.
Yes. Everyone remembers the song. At the end of the credits, it's Charlie Sheen and John Cryer, and in between them is the kid. And then when every season, as the kid would get bigger, they wouldn't just reshoot it. They would just, at the end, have the kid go from the kid he was at the beginning to a CGI like creation monster to like age to be 16 years old. And it was always horrifying. It was always horrifying. I don't know why they did it for so long. But we would do that. Only it's me and Greg. You get to hear the song. Aaron, sing it. Give me a couple bars.
Men. That one.
Keep going.
Oh. Men, manly men.
Come on.
Men.
That's right. Okay, I think that's it. It's that song, me and Greg, and then in between us is little Erica. And then at the end when it's like, man, then Erica transforms into Aaron, like a huge Aaron in between us. And Greg and I smile like nothing happened. And that would be every episode. What do you think about that?
I love it.
Yeah.
I want to do it.
Let's do that. And that was Email Corner, emails thing.
And that was Email Corner. Diamonds around the world unite.
And now it's time for
Ad copy.
So I mentioned Tushy earlier. I got a Tushy at my house. You don't know what a Tushy is?
I know what Tushies are, man. I got 3 of them. I got one on my toilet downstairs, one on my toilet upstairs, and one on my floating toilet.
They're a bidet. They clean your bum with a nice fresh stream of water. And one of the most important things about them is they're not baby wipes. You know what's the problem with baby wipes? Baby wipes get nasty chemicals all up in your business. Washing with Hello Tushy bidet saves your butthole, and it doesn't cost you any money. You buy the Hello Tushy, okay, that's some upfront, but you can get a promo code and it's less. But then you're not buying toilet paper for the rest of your life. I spent like $18 on toilet paper today, just today. at Pavilions. What's Pavilions, you ask? It's the fancy version of Vons. There's nothing different between Vons and Pavilions except it's in a more expensive zip code.
I think we can all agree that I think one of the best benefits of having a Tushy, whether it's on all three of your toilets, including your floating toilet, or just one toilet, is that you can give the little head nod to Muslims. And they have to give it back to you when you use the Tushy.
Why is that?
Muslims use bidets. It's part of their religion. They use a bidet, and they got on the trolley early, so now you can give them the OG head nod, and you guys know that's right.
All you need to know is, when you're in Japan, every toilet has a bidet because they care about cleanliness more than anyone else. They care about organization. They're into it, and if you want to be clean, you get a Tushy. With over 100,000 5-star reviews, see why millions of real pooping humans already love the Hello Tushy bidet. Every Hello Tushy bidet attachment comes with a 30-day risk-free guarantee and a 12-month warranty.
If you're just sick of Christianity as a force and you want to see how the other side does it, Tushy.com.
The Hello Tushy bidet. HelloTushy.com, by the way, not Tushy.com.
If you see what's going on in the Catholic Church and you're thinking, no more, I'm going to put my foot down, HelloTushy.com.
The crazy thing about it, it's very easy to set up. We got it. It only took a matter of minutes, and then you got it for life. The Hello Tushy bidet cleans your bum with a fresh stream of water that is 2 times better than wiping, prevents poo particles from spreading to your hands and everything you touch. It attaches to your existing toilet, requires no electricity or additional plumbing, cuts toilet paper use by 80%. So you still got to buy a little, but barely. Hello Tushy bidet pays for itself in under a year. Stop wiping, start washing. Go to HelloTushy.com/JRVP. Use the promo code JRVP. 10% off your first order. That's HelloTushy.com/JRVP for 10% off.
If you think the Pope needs to be taken down a peg or two, HelloTushy.com.
So you got Hello Tushy to help you out. It's very convenient. You also get Stitch Fix to help you out. Very convenient. Basically, Stitch Fix does the shopping for you. Say goodbye to the stress of shopping.
Listen to me.
Okay, I'm listening.
Listen to me.
Yes.
All right. Not everyone is as lucky as I am. Not everyone has a girlfriend who will tell them point blank, look you in the eyes, you look like shit. You need to change. Not everyone has that. If you don't have that, if you don't have someone so giving in your life, you need Stitch Fix. They will give you the good stuff. They give you a bunch of stuff. It's all good. You take the stuff that you like personally, knowing it's all good. Send the rest back. You're left with nothing but good stuff. You're cool now. You're cool, Liz.
You have access to real stylists, and you can use the same stylist over and over if you want, or you can kind of pick and choose and find one that you like to create a wardrobe that's tailored for you. We have different sponsors over the years.
What?
That sometimes we use, sometimes we don't, but we stick with the ones we believe in. I have Stitch Fix jeans on right now. It's not Stitch Fix brand. They choose out of all the different brands, the ones that fit you best. You just enter a quiz. It really is not that complicated of what your style is, how much money you want to spend essentially, and different brands you like in different departments, whether it's shoes, shirts, jeans, whatever it is. I'm wearing my Stitch Fix jeans right now. They got you covered. Over 1,000 brands and styles you know and love. It's also good if you have different sizes. Like, I'm a small guy. There's not often at the store a lot of sizes for me. Stitch Fix can get you covered there. Head to toe outfits so you can just get dressed and go. And if you don't like what they send you in your stitch, you just send it back. You just say, like, I think they sent me 5 things, and I sent one of them back because they were just these shoes that I personally wasn't feeling, and they send you the bag. You just stick it. It's all paid for. It's easy. Try Stitch Fix today at stitchfix.com/JRVP. You get 25% off when you keep everything in your fix. That's stitchfix.com/JRVP for 25% off today. stitchfix.com/JRVP.
If you think all the millions of Christians who died in the Crusades, including countless children, died for no reason, stitchfix.com. And that was
Ad copy.
Let's get to headlines.
Let's get the headlines. Let's get the headlines.
big news out of Sunderland, England last week, where 57 world triathlon swimmers got explosive diarrhea in the same race after a competition in the water there. It turns out the water had a preposterous amount of E. coli in it from a nearby sewage, and everyone was essentially swimming through shit.
Didn't this almost happen like in the Olympics? I remember they were at Olympics and they're like, where you're going to have to swim and canoe and all that shit they do in the Summer Olympics. It's disgusting over there. I don't know if it was Brazil or what.
Then nothing ever happened.
Britain. And then nothing ever happened. You never heard about it again. They figured it out. I assume they took a vitamin or some shit. I thought they got diarrhea during the race.
They did.
It was you say it was after the race. They swam and then they got diarrhea.
Some it started like I think right away, and some went home and had it like crazy. Yeah, it was happening.
How many people were in the race? Was it 57?
No, it was like 2,000 or something.
Then I would think they got poisoned. Why?
But they don't know everyone. First of all, I doubt everyone went and reported it. I think 57 swimmers that were like still there on scene went and reported it, and then a lot of the triathletes saw all the news reports about it and then were commenting like, oh, okay, now I know I was on the fucking toilet all night.
So you think there were people of the 2,000 who raced and then got diarrhea and then didn't tell anyone? Kept it to themselves?
Well, they just
highly unlikely.
They just commented. I don't think that was counted in the official count. It doesn't matter. Some people got it. A lot of people didn't because they have stronger immune systems.
I got to bring in a tiebreaker. Aaron, how many times in your life have you had diarrhea? Be honest.
Oh, thousands.
Thousands. How many times have you not told anybody? Have you kept it to yourself? Have you made it a private thing?
Zero.
Exactly. I mean, I can't remember the last time I had diarrhea, but I guarantee...
What's your point? Is that just because some people didn't get it, it's not a big deal?
That's what people post on X for. Is when things like that happen, you run to X and you post on X and tell all your X-mates that what you did and what's going on in your body. X.
I mean, don't you find it funny that many people in a race?
Listen, Greg, one person in a race gets diarrhea. It's funny. 2 people in a race get diarrhea. That's even funnier.
Explosive diarrhea.
3 people in a race getting diarrhea. Even funnier. By the time you get to 57, it's such a great number. Heinz 57, famous. Everyone knows about that. But 57 people, it's great. I would think that the winner is the person who has the most diarrhea. Like, I would like to see the medal ceremony where they put it on the top 3 and then they walk down off the podium and then take their medals off and then they walk into a bathroom together and then they come out without their medals. And everyone just goes on about their day. It's like best of the best. It's like that.
I just, for some reason, imagine the medals like dripping with sewage, with shit. I mean, it's disgusting. The thing that cracked me up about it, yes.
Listen, if the 3 of us got in a triathlon and 2 of you came out with explosive diarrhea and I was fine, I would think you didn't want it bad enough. You didn't train as hard as I did. I live forever. That's what I would.
I mean, isn't explosive diarrhea kind of redundant? It's like, what other kind is there? My diarrhea is always explosive.
Mine's not. Sometimes you get some seepage. You get some it's a regular one at the end. There's a little diarrhea.
I guess that's true.
More.
I didn't want to break it down. It was just a fucking joke.
Aaron, tell me if I'm right or wrong on this. Tell me this is not a fact. There are more types of diarrhea in the world than there are grains of sand in the desert. Is that true? Google it.
I feel like that's wrong. I feel like that's a lot.
You feel like there's more types?
No. I feel like explosive is the type.
I got all different kinds. I'm like a nice shower setting where you can grab it and turn it, and there's like 20 different ones. You're only going to use 2.
Yeah.
You're only looking forward to 1, but there are all different kinds. Diversity, woke.
So there's part of the story that made me laugh reading about it was the British triathlon, the governing body for it says, we tested the water, it's fine.
I love that. I love when they look you right in the eyes and like, no, it's cool. You guys must have gotten diarrhea
They're
before.
like, we've had, because there's a plant nearby. It's already been a story. It's a neighboring Whitburn North bathing water. People have been complaining about this for years, that this water is always fucking dirty, that this nearby plant like lets it in there, and it's a problem. And they're like, actually, no. We've had no discharges from any of our plants since 2021. And the British Triathlon Committee is like, no, it's fine. Meanwhile, an environmental agency committee sampled it 3 days before the race, and they showed that the water had 39 times the normal reading of E. coli.
If you are training for triathlon, you are training to swim through shit. No examples of not that. No examples of not that. If you want to swim longer than 100 yards in a row without doing a little flip turn and coming back the other way, you're swimming in shit. Unless you're in a pool that is chock full of chlorine, there's shit in there. So I don't see what the problem is. I say keep it to yourself and give the medals to the people who had the most diarrhea.
A 4-year-old girl in Michigan was struck and run over by a golf cart after a dog with the local fire department decided to lie down on the vehicle's gas pedal.
So what happened to the girl? I know as much as you have just said.
She was okay.
She was fine. Is there a video of it?
No.
No?
I don't think so.
Did anything bad happen to the dog? It's not a bite situation.
No.
It's a ran her over. They're not like, hey, he's
No,
he's got
I
a
want the
taste
fucking
now.
video. I wish I saw it. Now that I know the girl was fine, I just read this article and I was just like, I wish I saw this. I'm going to live my whole life, very likely, without seeing a dog driving a golf cart running over a girl. I want to see that.
Chances of you seeing that are so high. So high. Just make a TikTok account. You will see it within 10 minutes. Just flipping around. I love it because the firefighters are all grab asses. That's not a derogatory term. They like to laugh at the misfortune of others. Okay, they will crack up when something like this happens. As long as she's okay. Girl's fine. She got run over by a little golf cart. They love this. They laughed about this in the moment for quite some time. And they love this dog 10 times more than they did before. I assume, was it a Dalmatian?
It was an arson dog. I don't know what that means.
It smelled for arson, so it wasn't like just the mascot. It was like a regular dog. I think it's great. I think they may be giving the dog a raise. I think they talk about this every day until they retire, and then they write a book about it. But it's awesome.
Well, so the thing that surprised me was they revealed this entire story on their Facebook account with a very long explanation of what happened, and included the info the child was back to eating popcorn within like 10 minutes and was back to jumping in the fire department bounce house. And so what I think happened here is, like, you know, Westland's not a big city. They knew people were talking. They knew the streets were talking that a fucking dog driving cart ran over some little girl, and they're trying to control the PR. And, you know, they're getting some bad publicity here from the dog.
I don't think so. I think people want to see
Why else
the dog.
would you announce this and have a 1,000-word post about it?
Because there's someone whose job it is to update the Facebook. And they're like, hey, here's something. Throw in that the dog ran over a 4-year-old girl. She's fine. It's a post that you're defensive if she's not fine. She's okay. She's better off for having been through this experience. And I think the dog enjoyed it.
I just clicked on it for the first time. I don't have Facebook, so I didn't think it would work, but you can still read it. The comments are not having it. They don't think it's funny. They think you got to remove the key from the cart every time you get out. It's fair. They said it's a sad story, and everyone's happy about the child. They're not finding the humor in it. I'm kind of shocked that regular commenters on Facebook are humorless.
Where's this again?
It's in Michigan somewhere, Westland, Michigan.
Yeah, let me tell you something right now. This never would have happened in Halifax. In Halifax, they would have loved it. They would have made the dog do it again. They would have had a backup dog in a backup cart to finish off the 4-year-old girl, and then they would have written books about it that took forever to get to the cart. That's how they do it in Halifax.
They would have sent that dog into the bounce house after the girl again. You think you're done?
Get her. Get her. And once she gets in the bounce house, your hands are clean. Even if she goes in there bloody, hey, she's fine. Whatever happened to her happened in the bounce house. Halifax.
Last headline.
A 66-year-old Texan.
You know what? I want to be the Drake of Halifax. I want to move to Halifax and have like a
Drake
crazy
the
house.
Drake of Halifax?
Drake is the Drake of Toronto.
Oh, I see.
I want to be the Drake of Halifax. Halifax, get at me. Get in my DMs.
Maybe this
Make this happen.
be a retirement plan.
No, this is where I get started.
Your buddy Mark Maron always talks about that he's going to move to Canada.
Mm-hmm. He's always talking.
You could join. Join him.
Listen, I'm not moving to Canada. I'm moving to Halifax.
A 66-year-old Texan who was driving across the country went to Arches National Park in Utah last week to spread his father's ashes recently in the place that meant so much to his father. Unfortunately, the man died of heat stroke while at the park. He had been carrying his father's ashes to a number of places throughout the West while posting updates to Facebook about his travels with the caption, "A final journey with my father."
Love this. Love it all the way through. Let me tell you something about the JRVP listener of the week, Aaron. The JRVP listener of the week is this man's father's. This man's father.
It's James Hendricks is the man who died.
The JRVP listener of the week.
James Henderson's the son or the father?
James Bernard Hendricks is the son.
James Hendricks is the son. Do we have a dad's name?
I don't see it.
Okay, the dad was so powerful that in death, he took someone with him. He was like, "You want to mourn me? You're coming with me." He took that little bit where they reached out to say goodbye, and he took the hand and he said, "You're coming with me." And that is the top thing you can do as a father, I think, is take the kid with you. Is like, I want them to experience the mourning phase. I want them to grieve and then go out on the trail, scatter, scatter, scatter. Boom, you're with me now. It's a boss move. I don't want to hear anything else about it. It's the most boss thing you can do in death.
I can't argue with that.
No.
I mean, as a father, I have mixed feelings. Mostly, I would want my children to live a long, happy life. Then again, it's a boss move.
I'm getting an urn. When I die, my urn is going to have room for 3. So that the 2 people who came around trying to spread, they can fit in there too. It is total boss. This guy is America's dad.
It's like, you're not going to have any fun without me. It's sad because, that journey that he was on with the caption, it was called A Final Journey with My Father. And it, proved to be prophetic.
His dad knew what he was doing. Yeah, I get that. But thanks for explaining that. The dad knew what he was doing. Okay? If the dad didn't want his son to die doing this, he would have been like, spread my ashes somewhere shady. Spread it somewhere cool. Hey, spread them in that cave I love. Not this. Not, hey, different places. Yeah, 5 of them.
I know. Reno was going to be the last stop, but apparently he went on a hike, which confusingly was only less than a half a mile round trip. Park officials rank it, quote, as an easy hike, which I was like, you don't need to include that.
They're going to change that. That rank is going to take a hit. They're going to fall into the top 25 with that one. That's not.
It's like,
you're going to lose your green triangle.
I was like, you just don't need to mention it. But he might have gone through another trail and then made a different one and connected and all that.
We've also had record heat waves over the last.
Yeah, it was it was very hot. He literally, it's obviously very sad, but he died. His sister said he was found with an empty water bottle. That was it.
In the YOLO, in the dad's will, he said, "Don't take too much water with you when you spread it around, and make it fair. Make it fair for me." I'm about it. I love it.
It's been a few weeks since we had a JRVP listener of the week, I believe.
Has it? I'm slipping, guys. I am slipping, and now it's time for
Choo choo.
Recommendation station, Gregg.
Okay, I'm gonna recommend a show. I'm gonna recommend a reality show on Netflix called Terrace House. Now, a lot of our listeners might have already listened to it. It's been out forever. They haven't made a new one in like 3 years. It might be my favorite reality show ever. It's the first one set in Tokyo. It's kind of like Big Brother or like Real World, I would say, where they always say at the beginning of episode, there's no script to it. They just put 6 young people in a house and see what happens, basically. Give them a couple cars and see what happens. And it moves, I think, slower than American ones do, but that's why I like it. It reminds me actually of the original Real World back in the day. People don't end up staying there that long. They usually leave after 3 or 4 months. People come, people go. You find yourself caring a lot about these people. They often are coming for relationships. So there's dating, there's work, there's drama. And it became very popular apparently during the pandemic. Everyone just started like cranking through Terrace House, and it became like a huge sensation, even though it was a couple of years old at that point. Why are you laughing so much?
Okay, everything you're saying sounds like Little Women.
No,
everything sounds like Little Women. Little Women, the reality show. There's 18 seasons of it.
Well, there's men, there's women. It's 3 guys, 3 girls.
Just like Little Women.
But the key to it, and this is if you start, it does start maybe a little slow because it moves at a different pace, but it ends up being very rewarding. It also has commentary on it. So there's like a group of comedians and like TV hosts that are just sitting there in a room, and they watch the show in theory as you're watching it, and there's like 2 breaks in the show where they just like talk on it and goof on it for like 3 or 4 minutes at a time, and then you go back to the action, and that ends up being the best part of the show. At first I'm like, what the fuck is this? I don't know if it needs it, but they are hilarious and they're very incisive, and more to the point, it doesn't put too much strain on your brain. You know what I mean? Sometimes you want something light. They're like 30-minute episodes, and there's a fucking million of them. I feel like I've been watching it for years, and I'm only halfway through season 2. I don't know how there's so many goddamn episodes.
You've talked about Terrace House for 5 minutes straight, and at no point did you make it sound even remotely watchable.
Well,
at no point did you make it sound
that always
like,
happens with me in Recommendation Station. I do a bad job explaining. It's my biggest weakness as a host on the Jeselnik and Rosenthal Vanity Project. JRVP.
Junior Vice President.
But I know I got some Gregg heads out there who know that I come correct with the book and the TV recommendations. So just knowing that I'm recommending it, the Gregg heads will know.
Listen, I'm watching Big Brother.
You would like it, I
The
think.
Bachelorette.
I think you would like it.
And A Claim to Fame right now, and I still would like no way.
You would like
Terrace
it.
House.
Just give it a little time.
Yeah. Aaron, you got a recommendation this
Second
week?
season that I'm in the middle of is in Hawaii. So
You're interrupting Aaron. This is Aaron's time now.
Okay, go, Aaron.
I've been recommending you guys personally the show Warrior on Max.
I hear good things. It's like 4 seasons in now?
It's 3 seasons.
3 seasons.
And the 3rd season is still currently airing weekly on Max. It's from the creators and showrunners of Banshee.
Yes.
This show came from Starz and it's now on HBO Max. And it's based on like a treatment and writings that Bruce Lee came up with.
Mm-hmm. I've heard of him.
Before he passed away. His daughter is an executive producer on the show. It's about San Francisco in the 1890s and the turmoil between the various Chinese groups in San Francisco and the Irish and the police. And
Aaron, this sounds just like Terrace House,
but
which sounds like Little Women.
There's a lot more.
This is Little Women.
Why do you say it sounds like Little Women? Little Women, they're a family like who misses their dad like 200 years ago. It's nothing like.
Never seen the movie, never read the book. I don't know, but it's got a whiff of Little Women. Anyone would admit that.
Like the Revolutionary War or whatever. Little Women. It has nothing to do with Terrace House.
There's Kung Fu. It's great.
Okay. I've heard good things too. So
okay, 2 recommendations for Little Women. Let's see what I got. I've got an older novel that I read earlier this year. It's called The Killer Inside Me by Jim Thompson. Jim Thompson's one of my favorite noir writers. Always has it's a very smart book, and at the end there's some weird, almost supernatural twist. You're just like, oh, this is fucking awesome. I can't believe they didn't like burn him at the stake when he was writing these. The Killer Inside Me is about a small town sheriff who's a psychopath. and kind of is just scheming to get away with shit by doing more shit. And it's fucking awesome watching the walls close in. It's a great book. Jim Thompson is one of my favorite writers of all time, and The Killer Inside Me is one of my favorite books of his. He also wrote The Getaway. He also wrote The Grifters. He's great books, but The Killer Inside Me, one of my favorites. Again, that's Jim Thompson, The Killer Inside Me, and then 2 votes for Little Women. And now, Walker, welcome back to America. Get me out of here. I'll see you soon. I got gifts for you and Ellis.
Choo-choo.
Whoa, Nelly Furtado, that's a spicy meatball.